The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken near the 13. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback. They'll try and start this drive in the air. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. He'll drop to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that one almost intercepted. Call it a 50-50 ball. It falls incomplete, and now third down. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is third down and 6.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
They're going to look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Hurry up, here we go.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and it'll be a second down. So the offense now dealing with a 2nd and 7.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. These are his numbers from last week's contest. And Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week.
He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But it looked like a Jaguar was able to cover this thing, and so Jacksonville will keep control.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
Hurry up, here we go.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. That'll go as a loss of 9, and it leads to third down. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. They'll set up to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete. Touchdown, Jaguars. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Jags have taken the early lead. Well, that's how they envisioned to get the football to start the game and score.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
Josh Lambo now for the point after. And this is up and good. The score now 7-0 Jaguars. Here's Lambo out to kick this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here come the Ravens now ready to get the football for the first time. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback. Throwing on first down. Richard. Allen's got it over the middle. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. That throw good for 4. It's second down. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. Get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's brought down. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. While other coaches said, you know something? Until they stop him, that big boy's going to keep getting the football. And that might be the direction that they're going to go right now.
19 on the last play, 19 more here at another first down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Now a handoff here to his running back. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And the big meat on the D-line, we'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
10 yards still left on second down. Looking to throw. Richard over the middle, complete. It's Allen. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and have the ability to run it in, throw it, go play action, and take your shot at the end zone.
5 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up fourth down. Here's Justin Tucker now for the Raven field goal try. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So it goes down as an 8-play drive, and they cap it with the field goal.
Yeah, they were able to pick up a few first downs along the way, but they couldn't keep the momentum going all the way into the end zone.
This will be taken about the 12. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. A chance for us to look at this Baltimore defense again. And despite being down on the scoreboard, this unit, they've had some big-time hits.
Sort of like us at practice the other day. I saw you take a running start at that blocking sled. You took it down.
Bounced off like a rubber band.
No, not at all, but you're exactly right. They are doing their job, but they want to add takeaways to it. You need to have more of those to go along with the big hits we're seeing.
By the way, when I tried that and I bounced back, I noticed that you laughed with everyone else. You didn't try to get in my corner.
No. Someone had just told me a joke on the other side.
Right,
I missed that. Totally missed it.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. So the offense has it 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Blue landing.
They go play action here on 1st down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete.
Here we go now. 3-19.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch. Now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
He'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Peters. And able to pick up the first across midfield to the 47. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
A really nice throw there to pick up the first down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations. Ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one.
On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's brought down. 11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Alongside the former defensive back Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Jaguar football as we begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10.
Let's go. Gun.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. The Jaguars on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 8.
Here we go now.
They'll set up a throw. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. Give him 7 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
On is Josh Lambo for the field goal try. The wind is at his back here in the second quarter. And that'll be off the crossbar and out. It's short. He couldn't get it there. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, he had that one on target. That's half the battle. The other half of the battle, however, is distance.
And he nearly had that, too. But it was the crossbar that said otherwise. And that'll deny him a shot at 3.
The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But you also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
They run a draw here on 2nd down. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. The screen does get him 9, but it also brings up a 4th down.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a 1st down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a 1st down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
On play action, they'll throw. He's got his man in the crossing route. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. A big one there for the Jags. 18 yards, 1st down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
Here we go now. Blue landed. Blue landed.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks, but it doesn't matter what you call the position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Back to throw. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. First down, Jacksonville. The passing game looking sharp on this drive for the Jags. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Finding room to the 20. And it's a Jacksonville touchdown. Lambo to add on the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. Here's Lambo out to kick this one away. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. Well, look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. They get 1 yard back there to make it 2nd and 14.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on third down. And you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on first down. Back to throw. Richard looking for Allen. He's got him on the slant. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Looking to throw. Richard. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. Big chunks of yardage the last few plays, and the Ravens have another first down.
I know you're trying not to scoreboard watch, but you only got 3 points. You're kind of hoping that that type of play there gives you some positive momentum going into the half.
Yeah, need to do something to get more than that 3 number that they have on the scoreboard right now. On first and 10, Richard. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back with more from Jacksonville. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Larry Ridley will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. On first down, Richard. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here, he throws it away, and now it's third.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. On third down, Richard. And Jennings has it. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And now the passing game here in the second quarter is starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
Yeah, the defense definitely showing blitz here. To throw on second down, Richard. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And he's got it. That cuts the lead. It's now 14-10. That time a 9-play drive. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And they had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Let's go.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. The Jaguars on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. They'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
But no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
So on 4th down, here's Brad Nortman on to punt it away. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. It's taken to the 26.
Putting the block in the back. Return team.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Throwing on 1st down. Richard. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. Now flags come in. I think one of the Ravens got going a little early.
False start. Offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards. Here we go with 2nd and 7. Now they try the right side here. And some room to roam now. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. I always talk about slot receivers. They're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. Back to throw. Richard, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. To throw on 3rd down. Richard, and he'll get it down to the 47 here. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm Larry Ridley, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. The Jaguars are happy to be sitting in the locker room with the lead. The Ravens just want to come out after the half and claw their way back into the game. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. 3rd down from the 34. Broken coverage here on the pass play. He ends up at the 44-yard line before he stopped on the play. Later on the drive, here the pass would be completed into coverage, and this goes 60 yards for the score as they take a 7-0 lead. Now 1st and 10, he'll cut it out right on the outside run, and he counts off the 7-play drive with a score. Jaguars push their lead to 11. Ravens have it late in the 2nd. Coverage breaks down here, and he capped off the long drive with a TD. This cuts the deficit to 4.
All right, Larry, thank you. A fairly tight game here as we get set to resume playing in this second half. Fairly short kick, taking it to 14 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Throwing to start the drive. Richard. Allen has it left side.
Holding. Offense.
Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpire's got different responsibilities, but always making sure no one's holding.
On the give, this is their fullback. And he will fight his way forward to about the 23-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup. It'll be second down.
Now, that's the defense that they were looking for, being able to get extra bodies to the point of attack to deal with the big guy carrying the ball. You really don't want to be in a position where it's a one-on-one tackle with him.
And to give this time to the tailback. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
That was a nice play by the defense, but the offense can't let that one play define them. Let it go, move on, and start over again.
Throwing on third and long. Richard. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And out. Now a hit and a loose football. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
I remember sitting in special teams meetings, and at some point during the meeting, the coach would always say, you better treat this one just like you're playing offense or defense. It's a big part of the game, and we just saw evidence of why right there with that fumble.
Yeah, fumble on the punt, and after it was turning out to be a pretty decent return.
Yeah, a really nice return. They were going to be set up okay, and the offense would feel good running onto the field. And now the defense has to try it out there and try and slow them down.
And they'll start this drive with very good field position. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Kind of running there at your own risk against that 4-3 and that big line, aren't you?
Yeah, and I don't really run it against a good 4-3 team that well because I've got to get those guys on the move a little bit. If you're a static running team, meaning you just want to run it in the middle, you may have some trouble against good defensive tackles. That's what we just saw on that play. No gain.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. On third down, Richard, open man, it's Allen. Allen hit, he lost the football, and the Jags grab it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
He was looking to get it to Carlos Williams that time. That'll bring up second down.
Oh, he caught it. Just couldn't get the feet down. Couldn't get that toe tap sequence, right? I was ready to call him tippy toes if that one was completed.
And he's brought down after a good game. A good pickup there at 22.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. And now a first down following that long gain. He'll look to throw. Throwing the slant pattern here, complete. Down the numbers. There he goes. Touchdown, Jaguars. A big play there. His second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Jaguars add on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Lambeau on for the extra point. It's good, and it's 21-10. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. And now here come the Ravens. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line so they thought they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? It'll be a gain of 4, and that'll make it a second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down.
All right, it's football 101 to know that the quarterback controls just about everything on offense, but a lot of times what gets missed is that the center controls line play. He has to communicate to the guards and the tackles what type of front they're facing, how they're going to block it, and what adjustments need to be made sometimes on the fly as a defense will shift. Give the center a lot of credit because for the most part, he's got big defensive linemen over his face all game long that he's got to try and block and protect his quarterback and create space for his runner. In this case, he did a really nice job of communicating and executing.
And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Let's go. 1, 9.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
They've got tight left. One tight end. One tight end. Here we go.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Richard. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. The Ravens on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. And they give this time to the tailback. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave them with some options here on 4th and inches.
I'll bet they thought they had picked that one up because it was a 3rd and 2 call. And they got awfully close. Now we're at 4th and inches. I wonder if they think they're feeling lucky here and maybe want to go pick it up.
And it is good. Oh, that one looked to be in trouble the whole way, but it does get over the bar. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So a good kick there, and they finish off the drive with 3.
And that should be the goal for an offense. Finish each drive with points. So that's a nice job there to come away with at least something.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken from the 7. is up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he's able to hold on to the football.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 35. And he makes it all the way down to the 31. It's a big play for the Jaguars. 42 yards. For the offense lining up 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Eventually wrangled down before reaching the 20, but a strong run. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give them a new set of downs.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. A lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those. Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game. Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let him down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff him for it. And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time is run out on this 3rd quarter of play. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. It's Jaguar football here, and they'll look to extend their lead as we begin quarter number 4. And Lambeau will put this one through, but now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
Trailing in the 4th, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Looking to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Now back to throw. This is caught. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Oh, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense.
Here we go. 3-19.
And they give this time to the tailback. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead.
Well, Brandon, he just followed his nose, and his nose took him to the end zone. But how about the big guys up front, giving him at least a stalemate in order to find that space?
Yeah, the O-line won the battle in the trenches there, didn't it? And the lead is up to 15 now. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. Pretty move. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Over the middle, complete. That's Allen. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Let's go. 38.
To throw on 2nd down. Richard firing quickly here, and that's complete. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. 4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
On 1st and 10, Richard, and an alley to run. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven 1st down. On 1st down, Richard. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Marcel Darius continuing to fight downfield. The big tackle gets him for a loss of 11.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big. And sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It'll be a pickup of 13 on the play, and just like that, it's 3rd down.
It seemed like the situation was 2nd and a mile to go for a 1st down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football. That changes everything because if you're able to find a crease, you often have bigger guys working against smaller guys downfield. They picked up excellent yardage there to bring up the 3rd down.
You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Throwing on first down. Richard got his man complete over the middle. That's Jennings. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's another 10 yards on that one and another first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. Offense needs something here on 2nd down. It is 2nd and long. From the gun, Richard. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism. Great.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Looking to throw. Richard. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 11. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
Let's go! 3-19! 3-19!
Now a handoff here to his running back. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. Here's Brad Nortman now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come over with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? And this one will be taken up. They'll spot it right at the 7. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Back to throw. Richard. And that'll be incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
The Ravens on 3rd down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This will be 3rd and 6.
Let's go!
Looking to throw. Richard. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off at his own 10. And now he's got him at a great spot at the 8-yard line here, 1st and goal. They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner forgets starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that because that's the money zone. Get it into the end zone and make your cash.
Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. Now, the previous drive they punted, but that was just the first time they've had to do so in this game.
And when they turn on the game film, the coaches will rant about this, right? They'll say, oh, God, we got to move the ball, guys. We can't punt the ball away. But they have to keep smiles off their faces because that's the first time in the game they've had to do so. They've moved it quite well. They'll overall be happy with what they've seen.
Yeah, this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Second and goal to go now. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. The offense on 3rd down, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. They'll run it now out of the gun. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. And Lambeau will put this one through, and that will make this now an 18-point ball game. And you figure with that, this game's pretty well out of reach.
It would take a heck of a comeback at this point. Being 3 scores down, I think that's too much to ask with time winding down here in the 4th.
Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And the Ravens taking the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. And it's caught by Jennings. That goes for a gain of 31. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
On 1st and 10, Richard is going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. Even with the good footwork, he'll be stopped just inside the 35. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll make it 2nd down. And he'll indeed get him to the line and spike it here to stop the clock. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Back to throw. Richard, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Jags grab it. 30, 20, 10. And that should just about do it. They return it to the end zone, sealing it with a defensive touchdown. Second time he's lost a fumble. This one hurts more. It's returned for 6.
He's been under a lot of duress, hasn't he? Pressured, hurried, harassed the whole game.
Well, the offensive line not giving him a lot of help.
Not a lot of help, but the bottom line, he's got to take care of the football.
Lambo to add on the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now. And if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Second down and 4. Looking to throw. Richard. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And the offense looks to pick up the first here on 3rd after that incompletion. Operating from the gun, Richard. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. And give him 5 yards there, and it's enough for the first. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
And some room to work. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for the Jags, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Minnesota Vikings come to town. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they'll look to get back on the beam next week as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Jaguars are winners here as we say so long from Jacksonville.